All right, let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION at this hour, where Hong Kong is presently in its 17th straight weekend of protests, with hundreds of people having taken to the streets. And this is what is unfolding in Hong Kong, even as we speak, where the protesters, the pro-democracy protesters and the security officials, we're given to understand, have again clashed yet again since the protests began this morning. Now, there were hundreds of protesters who had taken to the streets wearing black clothing and also holding up umbrellas, and the police had stated quite clearly that they did not have permission to come out to the streets in this manner, which has resulted in yet another confrontation. And these are live scenes in terms of what is unfolding on the streets of Hong Kong, where the police and riot gear, in a bid to try and contain the protests and to ensure that the protesters vacate the streets, are now using tear gas canisters. They also have used water cannons as well in a bid. And we also see that there are some pro-democracy protesters who are also being handcuffed and arrested at this point of time. Even the media, we're given to understand, may not be allowed to, in fact, cover this protest in the manner that the media would like to operate. Now, that's also something that can be gleaned from the manner in which the police are trying to ensure that people are nowhere near the present side of confrontation. Remember, these are protests that started off on the back of a very controversial extradition bill that had been mooted by the Chief Executive, Carrie Lam. And eventually, Carrie Lam was forced to withdraw the controversial extradition bill that would have allowed a resident of Hong Kong to be extradited and to be tried in China under the Chinese law. Now, the protests have now acquired a much bigger resonance, where the protesters are stating that this is a fight to ensure that the autonomy of Hong Kong is not eroded by China. They want to send a message across to Beijing that the one state, two systems compromise should in fact continue. And this, remember, was a territory that was ceded by Great Britain in 1997 to be administered to China, and till 2047 it will remain a specially administered territory, and post that it will of course merge into China as any other normal territory. And this is what we are witnessing as we speak, and the visuals in many ways speak for themselves. And also remember, this is happening just days ahead of China gearing up to celebrate its 70th anniversary of its formation, and that is on the 1st of October. And also, prominent democracy activist Joshua Wong had earlier announced his decision to run for the local district council. Wong has termed the running for the office as a moderate and a peaceful way to express his political beliefs. Listen in.
I hereby announce solemnly that I am running for the office of the South Horizon West constituency in the upcoming district council election. It's a decision came after careful consideration.
Frankly speaking, run for office is the most moderate, peaceful and rational way to express our political belief. If they block young activists just like me to run for office, they need to pay the price.